All right, stocks might be stuck, but crypto has been moving. Plenty of volatility, and today to the upside, both for Ethereum and Bitcoin. Phil Striebel joins us from Blue Line Futures, Chief Market Strategist. Hey, we got a good close to the week here, it seems, Phil. It's a little rough and tumble, but risk on here with an hour, with 20 minutes left, 10 minutes left.
Yeah, U.S. equities taken off. I mean, I think that this is a lot of short cover. And you look at how bad the NASDAQ and the S&P, it's kind of been a brutal week. Unless you got that rotation right, out of tech, out of AI, and into the Dow and into, the Russell 2000 right at the get-go, it's just kind of been like kind of a buy and hold type of situation with a lot of people, especially in the NASDAQ, wondering how low it can go.
Yeah, the market seems to have, kind of gotten its beat down, and now we're resting as we were just looking through the levels, kind of just floating into the bell, which works, right? Better than the alternative of NVIDIA dropping 7% out of nowhere.
Yeah, we don't want to see this thing close in the red, that's for certain. But I mean, 10 minutes, there's a lot of time left in the market for this thing to do anything. And you look at next week, it'd be great if we could close on a positive note. We could string together some of the data next week. We got a heavy week going. We got the Fed meeting. We had that PCE data came out a little bit lower than expected. We're gonna have the jobs number next week. So if we get a little bit weaker data, weaker inflation data, Powell gives us something, he pivots more dovish, we could see a nice recovery next week.
Okay. Hey, crypto pretty strong. Kind of depends where you set the goalpost. Bitcoin had a rough start to the week, but made it all up basically overnight. And 2 weeks ago, it was like this whole political narrative. So did that break down here? Because the numbers for Trump have come down while Bitcoin's going up now.
It's still a political narrative. Trump's speaking at the Bitcoin conference in Nashville over the week. $4 million in cryptocurrencies, and it was like all over the place. People are probably just sending him all their worthless coins. Next thing you know, he's going to get the the NFTs and everything else. So it's really interesting. I think there was a lot of rotation. The Ethereum ETF, yeah, it's working and everything, but we're down about 11% on the week in Ethereum. So I think people are just kind of rotating to see, how much interest there is in that ETF, and they're going into Bitcoin.
Okay. Yeah, the ETF action for Ethereum, a little disappointing, or what do you think? I mean, seemed like they were getting decent flows.
We saw this type of development when the Bitcoin ETF came out.
Yeah,
I mean, initially there was a sell-off, and then it gained a ton of momentum going forward. It's tough, like as an advisor, you got to figure out what kind of allocations are you setting to this. And a lot of people own, an irresponsible amount of these cryptocurrencies and are high beta, high volatile assets. And all of a sudden, if you're going to shift from, being a cowboy to being responsible, you got to think like, how much are you allocating to something like Bitcoin? Is it like 1.5%? Is the Ethereum because it's less volatile? Would you go higher on it? Or because of the fact that it hasn't really proved itself, would you go a little bit lower because of the fact it could take off?
Yeah, the trade-off right now seems to be more generally favorable to BTC just since the highs from the spring. But 68, 69, does that impress you? You ready to start buying?
We got to get over that high from a few days back. We broke out to the upside. That's where the bull trigger really came in. We had the gap higher. We extended the flagpole. We consolidated a few days. We broke out to the upside. Since then, it was a little bit disappointing. But, I think 62.5 on the downside, you definitely don't want to see it below there. It crosses back over 60,000 is probably done again. We're going to go back into that, retest those lows that we saw. But otherwise, 68,500, we break out over there. I think we're screaming for 72.5 again. So a lot of time on the year left, too. If we break out over those highs, we could be seeing six figures on it.
Yeah, that was kind of the natural next question. Where's the dreamland for the coiner miracle if we get to highs?
I think we got to go 80, 85, and 100,000. I mean, if it gets close to there, I think it'll be gravity, and it'll start like, when gold, when it hit 2,000 for the first time, it seems like in some of these levels, when you get like Dow 40,000, NASDAQ 20, you get these things where it'll move up there and it'll start grabbing headlines again, and you'll get the momentum trade back on.
Yeah. All right. We'll try and do right now. BTC back at the highs of the day. You mentioned gold there. Just real quick, dip buying opportunity after that pullback.
Gold, definitely, I think it's a good opportunity. Unchanged on the week. You got a lot of data coming out next week. I think that they're going to pivot more dovish. The number of interest rate cuts, only a 4.7% that they cut in July, but if you go out to September, 95% chance that they cut 25 basis points. You got another expectations for a 50 basis point cut. So there's a lot of good things out there that would act as a tailwind. Silver, a lot of people are going to question it because of the fact gold recovering. Silver is too connected to copper and China right now. It's got some problems, but if it goes down to about the 200-day moving average, 2650, I think that the buyers are going to come in troves.
Okay, good stuff. Fun chat. All right, we will check in 1 week from now. Phil, have a great weekend.
You too, bud.
All right, like the levels, like the chart work. Thank you, Phil Striebel, Chief Market Strategist at Blue Line Futures. Coming